Once upon a time, there was a king who liked to make rules. There were rules about tulips and rules about roses. There were rules about eyebrows and rules about noses. Rules about keys and rules about locks. Rules about shoes and rules about socks. Everybody in the country had to do what the rules said.
Except me!
In that country lived three friends who didn't like so many rules. There was Shiver, who was always cold. He loved to warm himself by a fire.
No fires in January, February, or March. Fires are for the summer.
But the king had so many rules about where and when and how to make fires that most of the time Shiver was cold. Shiver had a friend called Gobble. He was always hungry. But the king had many rules about eating.
No eating cookies with your left hand. Apples are for Thursday. And absolutely no donuts in the kingdom.
The third friend was called Snore. He loved to sleep.
No sleeping while walking. And the only person in this kingdom who can snore is His Majesty, the King.
One day, these three friends made up their minds to go away. They set out to find a place where they could live without any rules. Finally, they found a lovely wild land where there were no rules at all. And here they settled down. They built their houses the way they wanted. They planted their garden the way they wanted. One day, Gobble was hungry. He went to an apple tree in Snore's garden and filled his basket with apples.
Wait a minute. Those are my apples.
I can eat whatever I want. We don't have any rules about what to eat and what not to eat.
If you come near my apple tree again, I'll hit you.
One day, on his way home, Shiver made a big fire right near Gobble's house.
You can't make a fire there. You're scorching my doorknob.
I can make a fire wherever I want. We don't have any rules about fires.
That is for your fire, and that's for you.
Now, for a while, Snore was happy in the land without rules, but his neighbors weren't.
I can't stand that snoring any longer. Listen, you're keeping me up at night. Either stop snoring or cover your head with pillows. I can snore all I want. We don't have any rules about that here.
This made Shiver so angry that he made a giant noisemaker out of pots and pans.
If you keep me awake, I'll keep you awake, too.
So matters went from bad to worse in the wild land without any rules. Because there were no rules against taking other people's apples, Snore was so busy guarding his apple tree, he didn't dare take his afternoon nap. Whenever he snored at night, the noisemaker woke him up. He was sleepier than ever. Gobble was so busy putting out Shiver's fires that he hardly had time to grow food in his garden. He was hungrier than ever. And Shiver was colder than ever.
Listen, something must be done. We came here because we didn't like the king's rules. But now I'm just as hungry as ever.
And I'm just as cold. And I'm twice as sleepy.
How about if we made up our own rules? Just a few important ones to help us live together without fighting.
and we'd all have to follow them, not like the king who didn't have to follow his rules.
So the three friends talked it over and decided on some rules. No eating apples from someone else's tree. No making fires near somebody else's house. No keeping people awake with noisy snoring. Everybody could still do what he wanted as long as it wasn't bad for someone else. Today, people who live together make rules which everyone has to follow. These are called laws. There are laws about crossing streets, about driving cars, about keeping places clean, about stealing, and about many other things. People cannot live together without good, sensible laws. That's what Shiver, Gobble, and Snore found out once upon a time when they tried to live with no rules at all.